ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Thank you. There. Hi, Bill Wendell. Good to see you all. And welcome to a fascinating edition of To Tell the Truth. If we have any airplane buffs or airplane pilots watching, you'll know that it takes 40 hours of flying time, instruction time, before you can get a license. Well, our first contestant had 0 hours of instruction, 0 knowledge of flying, and yet she landed an airplane under the most hazardous possible conditions. A great story. We'll meet her as soon as we meet our panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Bill Collins. Peggy Cass. Gene Rayburn. And Timmy Carlisle.
Hey there, panel.
Hello there, Gare.
We have got our usual terrific trio of Cass, Cullen, and Carlisle, and we have the host of Match Game, Mr. Gene Rayburn. So we may expect all sorts of things today. Now, I tell you, we have had some stories on this show, but this one defies description. Let us now meet a most remarkable pilot.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Martha Waite.
Number 2.
My name is Martha Waite.
Number 3.
My name is Martha Waite.
And I want you to listen to the unbelievable air adventure of Martha Waite. It says, I, Martha Waite, was flying home in a small private plane with my husband and 2 other friends. After we had attained an altitude of 500 feet, my husband suffered a fatal heart attack and collapsed in his seat. He was the only one in the aircraft who knew how to fly. I knew only enough to grab the controls, dial the radio to the emergency frequency, and call for help. At a nearby airport, my Mayday distress call was heard by a private pilot named Bob Corson. He quickly put his plane in the air, came up beside us, and proceeded to give me instant flying lessons over the radio. His most important instruction was to show me how to land the plane. Bob's decision was to guide me to McGuire Air Force Base near Fort Dix, New Jersey, because their runways were exceptionally long. Once we arrived there, he told me how to use the throttle to maintain the correct landing speed. In my first landing attempt, I came in too high, and we had to go around again. The second time, we made it. We landed hard, but we landed safely. And when we came to a stop, the McGuire control man said, she landed the blankety-blank airplane. Can you believe it? Signed, Martha Waite. I want to tell you, to me, the human spirit is constantly amazing. What you can do if you have to. We have to have a couple of commercials. You can do that.
What to your wandering eyes will appear the most Christmassy game shows in the middle of the year.
Santa Claus is making a list.
And checking it twice.
Merry Christmas in July continues tomorrow at noon on BUZZR. Let's play.
At Harry's, we designed our razors to start sharp and stay smooth, so your 8th shave is as smooth as your first. And at as little as $2 per blade, they cost half of what the other guys charge. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
Are you or someone you love struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol and want to be set free from the chains of addiction? Then call Addiction Helpline America right now to get the help you need. From drug and alcohol addiction to dual diagnosis treatment, we provide a confidential helpline to help people like you get sober and live happy, substance-free lives. With one call, you can be on the phone with addiction specialists across the country who will guide you on the next steps to find the freedom and healing you desperately need.
Introducing Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the inventor of whole body deodorant, like Mando. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and controls odor for 72 hours. And before you say it, Mando works better than a shower with soap alone. Rather than covering up BO with heavy fragrance, Mando's unique formula stops odor before it starts. That's my secret to better odor control everywhere. Mando's unlike anything you've ever tried before. Get over 30% off at shopmando.com.
All right, now, my friends, I'm sure you'll remember we had with us three absolutely charming ladies, all claiming to be Martha Waite, who never flew a plane until she had to under extraordinarily dangerous conditions. And let's start the questioning with a fully accredited pilot, Mr. Bill Cullen.
Yeah, and for years around airports, one of the things we always talked about was what would happen in a situation like this. Number 3, had you ever had any instruction at all in flying?
No.
Number 1, was this airplane equipped with any automatic equipment? Like, did it have an autopilot?
No.
Number 3, this fellow who came up to get you, you got him on the radio, is that right?
He called me when he heard the Mayday.
And number 3, on what frequency did you give the Mayday call?
121.8, which wasn't quite correct.
Number 1, when he told you to use your throttle to adjust your landing speed, if you increased your power, what would you do to the attitude of the airplane? Do you remember what happened there?
Well, it would ascend. You push in the throttle to increase the power, and it automatically goes up at that
And
point.
to increase your speed on the landing run, what did he tell you to do, number 1? Or to decrease your speed?
To decrease, you pull back on the throttle.
And number 2, when you finally did this, what was your feeling? You got down and you hit hard and you heard what the controller said. What did you say, if anything? I suppose the emergency still existed.
I actually didn't hear the controller say that. It was on the tape.
Nope.
All right, and that takes us, please, to Peggy Cass.
Thank you. Number 1, what kind of aircraft was it?
A Comanche 250.
Thank you. And number 2, does it have double controls? I mean, were there controls in front of you where you were sitting?
Yes.
Oh, now, number 3, this pilot that was up in the air that called you back, I mean, what was he doing up there? Was he an emergency? I don't know. What was he doing up there?
Well, he was a businessman on his way somewhere in his plane and happened to hear me calling for help and came up to help.
And we were able to give him your position and everything?
No, the control tower did that through radar.
Well, number 1, when he said something like move the ailerons, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do if somebody told me what to do because I don't know the names of all those things. Did you know, were you acquainted with everything on the dashboard?
No. Well, he didn't give me anything that complicated, really. About all the instructions he gave me had to do with using the throttle, other than extending the landing gear.
You were lucky that he sort of turned it into really the friendly skies.
Thank you, Peg. Let's go to Gene Rayburn, please.
Thank you, Gary. Number 2, were you afraid?
Oh.
Did you perspire, number 2? You were
No.
afraid. Oh, you didn't?
No.
Well, then you weren't afraid, number 2. What are the word, number 2, what do flaps mean to you? Anything? Did he tell you anything about flaps? This fella, Mr. Corsone?
Number 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
No.
He didn't. Number 3, how many times had you been in that small plane or one like it?
Oh, many times.
Many times?
Yes.
Number 3, when I was a child, I learned how to drive a car by watching adults drive. And one day I stole the keys out of my mother's drawer and went in and went and drove the car like a dummy. Now, if you had flown a lot, just from observing other people, wouldn't you have known something about it? Or did you have some clue? Number 3?
Well, yes, from watching, but when it came down to real details, so I had simple instruction.
Number 1, what does the word flaps mean to you? Anything?
Well, it's part of the tail assembly.
And did Mr. Corsone...
I'm sorry, Gene. Interruption. We're going to go to Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Well, number 1, when this angel of mercy came beside you, it was very dangerous for him. You might have bumped into him. No?
Well, he was getting instructions from the control tower, and they were giving him my position all the time, so that I could hear what was going on between him and the control tower, and I knew from what they told him where we were relative to each other.
Oh, number two, you couldn't see him then. He wasn't right next door. You couldn't look out the window and say, what'll I do now?
Sometimes I could, but not all the time.
But you didn't have any fear of bumping into him?
No.
Number three, what do you say when you get on the radio and you ask for help and Mayday and so forth? What
Mayday.
Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. And you said, this is me, Mayday?
Just Mayday.
Oh, my goodness. And what did he say when you number one, when you first spoke to him?
Well, I told him that my husband had fainted, which I thought was what had happened. And he said, we'll stand by for instructions, and then started doing it.
Thank you.
Oh, boy, I'm glad I'm not voting on this one. Glad I don't have to, but you do. And you have to mark it for a number 1, or a number 2, or a number 3.
Home warranty.
Focus.
Yes, focus on an American Home Shield warranty. It can protect your covered home systems and appliances, like this AC, with a repair or replacement.
Yes, thank you.
Home.
It's ohm, not home.
Yeah, it's pretty sure it's home. American Home Shield. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table.
I go by Jackie. I'm 44 years old. I had 3 kids at the time and single mother. I was working 60 hours a week. Still couldn't pay the bills. Skipped meals so that they could eat. It's been hard because one thing falls into place, 10 things fall out of place. You know, I just can't do this alone and make it work.
1 in 5 kids face hunger in America, and food costs are rising. Call or go online right now to join Feeding America with your gift of just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day. Together, thanks to a nationwide network of food banks, dedicated volunteers, and the monthly support of people like you, we can fill plates with nutritious food for kids facing hunger this summer.
One day my mother came over to my house and said, there's a meeting at the pantry. I said, okay, and I went. They asked several questions. Some of those were about me and my story, but it helped me to open up a little bit.
We're getting closer to the day when no one in America faces hunger, but we can't do it without you. Call or go online now. Visit helpfeedingamerica.org and give $19 a month, just 63 cents a day. 98% of donations go directly to help millions of children facing hunger from coast to coast and in your own community. And when you give by credit card, we'll send you this exclusive canvas grocery bag to show you are a part of a movement of supporters working together to help end hunger.
I have people that I can trust. I have hope.
Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive.
Please call now or make your monthly donation at helpfeedingamerica.org. Working together, we can end hunger in America.
Pay $50 for each wrong vote. We pay the group $500 in case nobody comes up with the real lady. And Bill Cullen, you start, please.
It's difficult. It's difficult. On the basis of the answers, number 1, to Jean's questions about the flap, indicated she had no basic knowledge about flying, but to my questions about throttle and what it controlled and attitude and what it controlled, sounds like something she might have been told by somebody, because she was told what she needed. I have to vote for number 1.
All righty. So we got to vote down to that one end. And Peggy?
Well, I voted for number 1 because she knew the flaps were in the tail assembly, and everybody knows that.
Oh.
It's
well,
wrong.
It happens that the flaps are on the wings. Wrong. But if you care to believe it, they're in the tail, you're entitled. And so you've got a pair of 1s. So we're going to Gene Rayburn, please.
Our flying date is off, Peg.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when people come into this studio, like these 3 ladies, they're in a foreign environment. And
Right.
usually that's kind of frightening, and we all feel a little insecure in a foreign environment. And number 1 seemed cool and calm and collected as she would have been had she been confronted with this emergency.
Oh, dear. We have total trend shaping up so far. Kitty, are you going to go with it?
I agree with Jean. I think number one, I'd let them all help me down. I think they're marvelous. But I voted for number one, too. I thought the flaps were in the tail or the tails were in the flaps.
Well, all right. The votes are all in. Now, Martha Waite is certainly a heroine because she saved not only her own life, but the life of her 2 passengers. But there was also distinctly a hero in this story, and he is Bob Corson, the civilian, who went to her aid when he didn't have to, and he guided her down in this difficult flight. I think he deserves a hand as he comes out to pick out the Martha Waite. Bob Corson. Good shot. Good shot. $500. You stumped the panel. Let's find out who we all. Number one, with all of those X's in front of you. What is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Virginia White, and I'm an administrator at the Graduate School, City University of New York.
Very good. Number 3, tell us about you, please.
My name is Happy Gerhard. I'm a co-author of Finally It Fits, Dress Designing and Pattern Making book.
Fine. Bob Corson, after this bizarre experience, how do you feel about the general safety of air travel?
Well, it's about as safe as driving an automobile. Same thing can happen in an automobile.
What you want to emphasize is that this one bizarre thing should not give aviation a black eye.
Definitely not.
How long did the whole episode take, Bob? How long were you up there?
It took an hour and 20 minutes.
And you decided that by the amount of gas that she had, Mrs. Wade.
3 hours of gas. It's one of the few times, and only in aviation, that is more than I was involved. There were many people involved in it. Yeah. And it was instant. Everybody pitched in to help. The controllers, the McGuire people. It was just a very happy ending.
Bob, delighted to have you here. Mrs. Waite, delighted to have you here in more ways than one. Ladies also, thank you very much for being with us on To Tell the Truth. Go.
Let's play.
Everybody hates Beth. She eats all the food she loves and stays slim. Kim starves herself dieting, yet still can't lose weight. Beth is full of energy. Kim always feels tired. Beth has an unfair advantage. She takes Almaced, a breakthrough health and weight loss shake that fixes your metabolism to help you lose weight in a whole new way.
I couldn't lose weight no matter how much I exercise. I tried Almaced. I lost 26 pounds.
The reason you're having trouble losing weight could be a liver clogged with fat that's slowing your metabolism, making it very difficult to lose weight and stubborn belly fat. Almaced is a scientifically proven food supplement that uses natural amino acids and bioactive peptides to help unclog your liver and fix your metabolism so it's easier to lose weight.
My name is Stephanie Phillips Solar, and I'm an Almaced success story. I was able to lose 67 pounds with Almaced in roughly 7 to 8 months.
My weight is down. I feel much more energetic than I have in the past.
Over the course of time, I lost a total of 25 pounds. So thank you, Almaced.
Almaced is all natural, supports healthy blood sugar levels, and it's diabetic friendly. Some weight loss plans have you feel weak and hungry, but Almaced will renew your energy, and you can lose weight and feel great.
Almaced's unique protein can truly absorb in your body and aid with weight loss.
Studies showed Almaced helps you lose double the weight compared to other diets.
The fact is, Almaced works, and I highly recommend it.
Go online now to get started with Almaced for just $34.99. A great value to finally lose weight. We guarantee you can lose weight or you'll get your money back. Be like Beth and get the unfair weight loss advantage with Almaced.
It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using SafeLight. Tell the people why you haven't done it already, my man.
It started off as a chip and grew into a crack, and it just keeps going.
So what do we do now?
I went ahead and scheduled an appointment online at SafeLight.com. Told them to meet us here at the beach.
Let's get started.
Oh, Safe Light Repair.
Safe Light Replace.
Yes! Schedule free mobile service at safelight.com.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Whoa, now that's a smooth shave. You might think these guys had to pay top dollar for a shave that smooth, but they just used Harry's. With 5 blades that stay sharp, shave after shave, a lubricating strip with aloe, a flex hinge, and a trimmer blade, it's hard to believe refills start at just $2, half of what the other guys charge. Shaving with Harry's isn't pricey. It's just very, very, very smooth. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
Now let's say hello to a lady who knows all about crime and criminals.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Nora Sterling.
Number 2.
My name is Nora Sterling.
Number 3.
My name is Nora Sterling.
And here is the criminal compendium of Nora Sterling. It says, I, Nora Sterling, know how to protect you from pickpockets, rapists, muggers, con artists, robbers, and burglars. In preparing a book on this vital subject titled Your Money or Your Life, I conferred regularly with the New York Police Department's Pickpocket and Confidence Squad. Later, I accompanied the famed Decoy Squad on many of its remarkable missions. The point is this. Today, it is simply not enough to be a law-abiding citizen. You must know why it's extremely dangerous to carry cash, credit cards, and identification in the same wallet. You should also be aware that if you walk the streets alone between 5 and 8 p.m. on Friday, the odds of being mugged are greater than usual. Helpful, too, is to be knowledgeable about such classic ploys of the con artist as the pocketbook drop, the handkerchief switch, and the Murphy game. Signed, Nora Sterling. And let's start the questioning with a young fellow who at an early age stole his parents' car and drove off with it.
Okay, I'll turn myself in after the show. Number 3, the phrase you've used as a title of your book was made popular by a well-known comedian in a comedy sketch he did in which someone was holding him up and said, your money or your life, and it took him 20 minutes to make up his mind. You know who that was?
Jack Benny.
Number 2, how long does your average mugging take?
Very fast.
How many seconds would you
Well, it
say?
depends on the mugging. But 10, half an hour down to 10 seconds, really.
Mm-hmm. Number 1, now why do you say keep your wallet and your credit cards your money and your credit cards in different pockets? Why is that?
Well, you're better off being left with one or the other after a mugging rather than losing both.
All right, number 2, what is...
Sorry, Gene, we're going to go on to Kitty.
Thank you. Number 1, why is it not safe to walk the streets on Friday between 5 and 8?
But many people get paid on Fridays, and so they're carrying larger sums of cash around than usual.
Ah. Number 2, is it a good idea to keep your money in a plain envelope?
In a plain envelope or in your zipper pocket in your pocketbook.
Number 3, what is the Murphy game?
The Murphy game is a con game. It's a form of, it's a prostitution game where you are approached by a strange man who asks you if you would like a girl, and
well, he wouldn't ask me.
No. In the process of completing the game, he will tell you that you shouldn't take your possessions with you and to deposit them in an envelope, and
give them
you
to
can
him.
pick them up later.
I see.
And then he disappears.
And the girl doesn't get...
Pretty sneaky fellow, that Murphy. Let's go down to Bill Keller.
That's Charlie Murphy, a cousin on my father's side, actually. Started the whole thing in Pittsburgh. Number 2, I'm intrigued with an answer you gave. You said that a mugging can take anywhere from 10 minutes, which is an exceptionally fast mugging, to a half hour. What goes on in a half-hour mugging, number 2?
Well, they don't immediately mug them. Sometimes they will get them into conversation and end up that way.
I have heard, number 1, I have heard that depending on your neighborhood, it is wise to carry a little bit of money with you, like $5 or $2 or $10, depending on the neighborhood, in order to keep the muggers happy when you're mugged. In other words, you don't want somebody who might be on something knocking you off because you're broke. Do you hold with that?
I do. In fact, even children are sometimes given $1 or $2 to stuff in their school bags, and people call it mugging money.
Number 3.
Great world.
Mugging money.
Great world.
Yeah.
Peggy.
No, I know kids who get mugging money that could go to school from the east side to the west side. It's better to have mugging money than get mugged. Number 1, what is the Badger game?
The Badger game?
Yes.
That's one I haven't ever heard of.
Thank you. Number 3, what's a dip?
A dip is the pickpocket who goes into the pocket and takes the money out.
Bad, bad. Number 3, did you ever go around with the, what's it called, the decoy squad?
Yes, but that was later, after the book was written.
Did you dress up funny the way they do?
No.
Thank you. Number 1, I would think that 5 to 8 p.m. on a Friday night wouldn't be nearly as dangerous as 2 a.m. in the morning on 8th Avenue. Which would you prefer? To be, I mean, for mugging purposes.
I wouldn't want to be on 8th Avenue at 2 a.m.
No.
I thought so, too. I often find myself there, and I wonder why I get beat
The point
up.
in the affidavit was, let's say within normal daylight hours, Friday afternoons, pay night is the worst of the more or less regular hours. Now, friends, it is time for us to vote, however. And what do you think? Do you think it's number 1? Or do you think it's number 2? Or are you quite certain that it's number 3? In any event, Jean Rayburn has to mark something down. I'd like to see what it is.
I did it. I didn't vote for number 2 because she said a mugging could take up to a half hour, which is, I've been mugged once and it only took 10 seconds.
But it was a thorough mugging.
Yes. I mean, a good mugging takes about 10, 15 seconds.
A good one.
And it doesn't make New York a bad city, folks. It's, don't stay
It doesn't help it any either.
Anyway, number 1... said she didn't know something once, and that kind of honesty led me to believe that she was the real one.
All right, and so you've got 1. She said she didn't know what the Badger game was.
That's
we got
right.
a 1 showing, and so we're
Well,
going
I want to
please-
say a word for New York, too. It's only 17th in the crime rate in the country.
Here,
It's a good city to live in.
And to get mugged, it's perfect.
I didn't vote for number 2 about the Badger game. Number 3 said she went out with the decoy squad later. I voted for number 2 because I think that number 2's a writer.
All right, so we got 1 right in the middle there, and Bill Cullen.
New York is no worse than any other city. I had to write this with pencil because during the questioning, someone stole my pen. I have an idea who.
Oh, dear me. We've got a 1, we've got a pair of 2s, and we've got Peggy Cass coming out, please.
Well, number 1, the Badger game is a very well-known thing of the irate husband rushing in and all that stuff. So that's, the Badger game is well-known among my friends. And number 2, I think you're too sweet to go into that line of work. But number 3, I think you'd do it, so I voted for you.
All right, that's the way it's spread out, and it is spread out all over the place. The votes are in. Will the real Nora Sterling please stand up? There she is.
I knew it.
Thank you, Miss Sterling. Let's find out about your friends. Good team. Number 1, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Kathy Silver. I'm the office manager of a nonprofit agency.
Fine. And number 3, how about yourself?
My name is Alice Gates. I'm administrative assistant at Van Buren Neiman Associates in Manhattan.
Okay. Well, Nora Sterling, hopefully we've all learned a lot from you on this session, and thank you and thank the ladies also for being with us on To Tell the Truth.
Odor below the belt? Nobody likes that. It's time you discovered Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. Lumi was developed by an OBGYN who knows our body chemistry. It works like magic. You gotta go to their website and try it for yourself.
What should we do?
I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, and if approved, we can have the money as soon as the same business day.
Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need.
In that first spot, I loved the spirit of Bob Corson, the civilian pilot who helped Mrs. Waite down. Mrs. Waite, in talking to her, told me that it was the calmness of his approach, in which he called her Martha and said, "Now, Martha, we're going to get this done. Now, you just do things nice and easy, and we're going to make it." And they did. And we'll see you.
This is Bill Wendell speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.